Good afternoon to you all. I think it's a tough, very tough session to have all of your attention after a good lunch, right? But for me, it is a pleasure to be here in a physical space with physical people talking about one of my, I would say, most interesting issues of my work, okay? So let's start by introducing myself. My name is Sónia Costa. I come from Portugal, from the sunny city of Lisbon. Are you hearing me well? Yeah. Sunny city of Lisbon. I worked in the past in facility management issues, pure facility management, and then I changed to a more, let's say, human-centric approach, and I am responsible for the employee wellness and workplace, or what I usually call the sexiest job title in my company. That is a more human-centric and also holistic approach on workplace-related issues, okay? So let me start also by talking about Sonae Sierra, right? Probably from some of you, it's the first time that you hear about our company, but actually we are a company that we are already we already have 30 years of experience, okay? Sonae Sierra, it's an integrated real estate player, as I was telling, with a lot of experience. We are delivering since the construction phase to the transaction phase to the ownership phase services to our clients. We have more or less 1,000 people working for us, and we have 12 offices in 11 countries. So we are a very international company right now, and we deliver to our clients. We want to meet their ambitions. Where we all operate, here is my head office in Lisbon, in Portugal. Actually, I have team in all over Europe, okay? We are present in 3 different continents. We have worked for more than 50 countries independently of having our own structure in the company or not. We are mainly situated in Europe, but we work all over the world. What we are known for? Well, Sonae Sierra has a huge background on retail, on shopping centers specifically, but in the last decade, we have broadened our services right now to other clients, and now we are known for not only retail, but also healthcare, hospitality, residential. We are also master planning small cities. Imagine building a small city, or even mixed use, and what is related to my subject today, we also develop corporate buildings, and specifically, we also do office design. So what we will talk about today, okay, spoiler alert, you already saw the name of my session, but actually we will talk about on-site office. And let me start by also asking you a couple of questions. You are in a safe place, okay? So which one of you are doing 100% remote work? Raise your hand. Okay, okay. How many of you are doing hybrid work models independently of the number of days? Okay, and 100% presential work in the office? No, tough crowd, I already knew it. So what I will talk about today is why the office is still relevant. It's not trying to convince you to return to the office, because more or less, as you could see, a lot of you, you are already working in offices independently of the frequency. But how does an office keeps relevant in a world where hybrid work models are here to stay, where companies feel the pressure on the great resignation, the quiet quitting, and all other human resources trends right now? How is the office still relevant? So let's start by the basics, and here I will talk to you about the evolution of office, of the meaning and purpose of the offices, and not about office design, okay? It's a totally different issue. So I would say that the office, as it appeared, as we know today, the meaning and the purpose was to gather everything in the same place, people, tools, information, and of course, as you can see, it's almost 3 centuries, right? But the main purpose of it was to gain organization, efficiency. For example, some office designs that you may know of here: office plan, open plan, okay? The Taylorist approach of everybody in assembly line, right? And the cubicle farms of the 80s, right? You all knew, right? Okay, then the office evolved to the office as an enhancer. Here, the meaning was to improve the quality of work. In this decade, if you don't remember, is the time that the virtual office arose. We had laptops, we had internet, we had mobile devices, mobile phone devices. That means our office, we could change entire office, we could move people, we could move work outside the office premises. And we are in the late of the 20th century. This is not a thing from the pandemics. We already had it, okay? You may say, okay, specific companies, yes, but since the rise of technology, we were able to work actually everywhere, from our homes, from the coffee shop. Who doesn't see in a movie in the Hollywood people working and chatting from the coffees, right? So the rise of technology made available for people to have more flexible spaces with more collaboration. This is the time where companies were leaving the city center, and were going off town, mainly also to save costs, of course, because why? They could have smaller offices, people outside the building, but still fostering collaboration, okay? Let me explain to you that when we change from the office aggregator to the enhancer, we don't lose the organization and efficiency, but the meaning, the purpose is different. We add collaboration, we add flexibility. Then we have the inspirational offices. This, I would say, it's the most relaxed ones. It's the one that you see on Silicon Valley tech companies, right? Where the office has a total disruptive approach, because the office existed to attract people. You could see the informal dress code in the companies. You can see a lot of amenities and services in the offices, because bottom line, the office exists to inspire people to do their best. And there is where multi-purpose spaces arises to boost creativity, to boost innovation. So the office meant a place to attract people. And then we have the action-based office. That is the latest trend in the last decade, where here the office, remember, it adds on, it still has flexibility, it still has collaboration, it still promotes creativity, innovation, but now we are giving an emphasis on the activity of people. It's not having cool spaces where people can be creative. Different people have different needs. So the office is designed and exists to promote those specific actions that has to be done in the office, okay? So now you may say, okay, Sonia, where do we stand today? Well, as you could see, COVID-19 hit us, and hit us like a wrecking ball, right? What we know as an office no longer exists, right? But it doesn't have to. It's not a bad thing. We can build upon what is left from the office and try to increment on it. What was nearly indisputable about the office were lost, and it was highly questionable. Companies were pressured to take an action on what to do with their work models. People were pressured by all the trends in HR. People were quitting. How to address this? And where does this leave the physical office? Do we need a physical office? So work, after, I almost say after the pandemics, because we are still living on it, but after 2 years and a half of the pandemics, it's quite different. Because for us now, the work is no longer a place to go from 9 to 5, right? The work is an activity for a purpose, and that we can do it almost everywhere. So what do I think is the new meaning and purpose of an office, as a totally biased person, because I love to work in an office, okay? But let me say that office has a completely new meaning and purpose, and probably this is the major challenge that we in the workplace will face in the next couple of years, 5, 4, 10, we are not quite sure yet. So remember that I was saying that the office needs to have a new meaning, because going to the office, it has to be worth it. Today we heard about what could bring people back to the office if they have to commute 1 hour and a half. How about the cost that I'm saving for myself on commuting, right? I could spend those times doing better things for myself and even for the company, right? So going back to the office right now, it has to be worth it. And so where is the new meaning and purpose of the office? So the office new meaning is what I call intelligent connectivity. I didn't met you, any of you, well, besides Gosia, okay, previously, and we talked about this, right? The human connection of the offices. We go to the office to boost human connections, but it's an intentional thing that we want from the office. We want the office, we want people to go to the office because I want to meet, I want to train, I want to be trained, I want to onboard, I will be on board, I want that casual encounter on the coffee machine, on the water cooler, on the corridor, and I want to stay with the bond that those casual relations bring to us. Because I go to the office because what the office has to give it to me, and that's a social thing. We need people, we are humans. By our nature, we don't want to be alone, right? And what the digital thing doesn't bring us is this human interaction. But of course, the office has to develop other criteria to reach and to sustain that human interaction things. Otherwise, we would just need people and not walls, not my wonderful desk and my beautiful ergonomic chair, right? So the office has to integrate not only, but also well-being and sustainability, because I want a balanced work life even in the office, and don't spend endless meetings on the office or digital, right? I still want to leave earlier to get home, to be with my kids, with my husband. I still have a life. So the office has to promote this well-being, but also the sustainability part of it. I want to go to the office, but I want to know how it is built. What is the impact on the environment? We have a whole new generation of Gen Zers that suffer from eco-anxiety. They want to know exactly what we do in our lives that are present in the office and what our companies are doing to tackle it. And last but not the least, we need what we call intelligent technology. The office has to be on top of our hands, on the palm of our hands. I want to go to the office because I have a good experience, even technological. What happens with the people that are working from home digital? Which one of you didn't lived that I'm not hearing it well, the image is not good, the sound is not good? Are you on mute? No, it's not working. And then we start doing things with paper or writing on the chat. We need a seamless experience for our employees, both working physical and digitally, right? We want them to have the same experience. And we need technology to do that, good technology to do that. And good technology, hands up, it costs money, a lot of money. But that's the type of investment that you could do and have return on it, okay? So what I'm saying right now is that the office has a unique value proposition right now. First, it's the space to connect. It's the space where still collaborate, but we do it in a different way. We do it because we know that human interactions add value. I already experienced this. When I need some new ideas, when I'm blocked with a specific challenge, is with my peers, when we are doing silly things, or sometimes in the shower, I must confess, that the ideas are unblocked. Because building a formal relation help us achieving that. It's those connections that Emerson was talking about. We do it physically, not digitally. It's the place where creativity arises, when my head joins another head, and together we are more creative. It's even the space where we share our failures, when we bang with the head on our walls because we missed it. It's the space where culture breeds, where we see culture in the physical space, because the office is a way to complement, to assure the corporate culture. It's this place where the well-being is nurtured, and you cannot forget about this. And we have 3 companies here with us to promote well-being, besides of the physical one. And it's the place where sustainability from the companies, where their actions are on their mouth or their mouth on their actions, okay? It's where they can see and check. It's much more than the recycling rate or even what we see in the office. It's the materials that we choose. It's the way the building is managed. And we can still have it on the top of our heads also. So how do we get there? Well, I must confess that the previous presentation helped me on this, because our colleague already told us there's no solution that fits all, sorry. But actually, we as a companies, we are all living this. We already have some experiences to share. Will they be, let's say, still relevant in 1 or 2 years? We don't know. We are still in a what we called a test, a piloting test. But actually, there's something that I would like to share with you. First, stop what you are doing, reflect, and plan. And when you are reflecting, we need to involve our people. I remember this morning of seeing the employees as co-creators. That's it. Because we want to hear them, what they have to say. We want to know what they need and not what I think they need. Probably they don't need pinballs. Probably they need spaces, I don't know, to be quiet, or spaces to collaborate with others. But we need to listen to them. And we know that we will not reach everybody's expectations, okay? But at least we need to meet the company needs to the majority of the employee expectations and try to get a balance out of it. But be sure that we will fail sometimes, but for sure, and other times, we will nail it. And it can be from different aspects that we already talked this morning also. It can be from the way that you, I don't know, see your office location on the city center, off town, near more amenities and services if I cannot provide them. Or having a central hub, that means a corporate office where everybody goes from time to check in. Or can we have a hub and spoke? A hub and spoke, for the ones that are not familiar with the concept, is when you have probably a smaller hub, a central office, but then you have small spokes spread out the countries where you gather a small group of people and where you can share the woman connection, the collaboration, and even the culture on it. Or you can even try to understand if your contract makes sense. Can we reduce space or can we reinvent space? What I think it makes more difference is these two things, because to boost human connection, we have to plan on how people behave in the office, even where they walk. Because when I walk, I may find other people, and we need to foster, to boost those casual, informal encounters, because that's what make people be aware of who is in the office. I can choose when I'm going to the office because of the people that are in the office, right? I heard this morning. So we need the office design to help us getting there. And here I recommend incorporate biophilic. Biophilic, for the ones that are not familiar with the place, is where you bring the nature to the office. It's not by having good landscape, it's much more than that. It's when you have particular attention to details on the type of materials that you use, on the way that you design, the entering of the light, the humidity of the air, as more natural as possible. Is having more collaboration areas, because if I'm going to the office because I really need it and I feel the need to be with other persons, usually it's collaborate, because for my own individual tasks, I do it at home or wherever I am, right? We need less assigned spaces. We can book, a lot of companies have technology to book seats, to be present, and usually people like to know who is in the office, because I have a specific need, I want to see my colleague, or I need a specific issue from a specific department. Is having meeting booths. Which one of you didn't realize that we have a huge conference room with one person inside, right? Or one-to-one. All that space that is not used, we can have smaller meeting rooms. One-to-one meetings, 2-to-2. Phone booths, because we don't want people on open spaces or collaborative areas speaking loud, and I'm one of them. Okay, so I really relate to this. Quiet rooms, because even for the people that we know that doesn't go to the office just to human connection because they prefer to work in the office, we need quiet rooms for people to be concentrated, because we learn from our experience that being on an open space with a lot of people, a lot of noise is very hard to work. But in the past, we didn't have a comparison to use, but now we have. It's having lounges and restaurants. I didn't forget individual lockers, I'll leave it to the end. And remember, I didn't say canteen, I didn't say kitchen, is restaurants, because one of the trends that we have right now that is related to the wellness is having healthy choices in our premises. And healthy choices is not the quality or the type of food, is also addressing the intolerances that we now have. It's for people to have access to good food in their premises, because you know what? In our homes, most of the times, we prefer to eat at home because we eat better. Because you don't go to a restaurant or having fast food access. The offices now have also to address this. And gardens. And why gardens? Also, or let's say outside areas, to foster the type of activity that we like to do in the office. Happy hours, celebration moments, right? Or even just to drink a glass, I would say, of non-alcoholic drinks when you just failed and you need just a colleague to be there to support you. And for last, individual lockers. Individual lockers are not the lockers that you think for people to put their things on it, because I don't have an assigned space, so I need a space to put my office supplies or whatever people have in their desks. It can be that, of course, but individual lockers now is my space in the office. I can ask for a Uber and make it delivered in my individual locker. I can buy some clothes online and I'm not at home. I make it available in my individual locker. So the office design integrated with technology make us have a different experience from the office that we had in the past. But this means that companies need to change their mindset, because thinking about this is hard for the conservative companies that we have, right? Changing the mindset. I just need an office for people to relate? Yes. And calculating the return on the investment of the people that will stay because of this, that the people we will attract on this will help you justify why we need to make these investments. And believe me, the return, it's quite more faster than we all think of it, okay? Thank you.